Hi Aries, welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm doing your general messages for the week ahead. I've already pulled the oracle cards, so we'll get straight into it. So the first one that you have here is round and round. So it could be that you're closing out some sort of karmic cycle, or maybe a lesson keeps repeating itself until it's kind of, understood fully. And it kind of seems that maybe there's some sort of reoccurring patterns in relationships or work or even just your self-worth. And then we have the new moon in Taurus, and it says prosperity lies ahead. So basically this is a good card because this is saying that there's some sort of financial abundance that's available to you now, but it also comes through consistency and patience and building something solid rather than taking any kind of shortcuts. Taurus is very much about stability and hard work, And then we have Giraffe Spirit, and it says, see the big picture. So basically, Giraffe Spirit is exactly that. It's like, try to see, the forest from the trees. And, if you're too close to a situation, maybe take a step back and look at it from like an overview perspective. But it's also just about, don't judge your life by maybe what's happening this week, and look at the direction that you're heading in over the next year or so, rather than just looking directly at what's happening right now. Okay, so let's get some tarot for you. Okay, this is for Aries. Okay, so we have the Hierophant, that's Taurus energy, like that one. Okay, we have Judgment, Scorpio energy. Okay. We have the Ten of Wands. Okay. We have the Hanged Man. That's Pisces energy. Okay. We have the Four of Wands. We have Chariot, that's Cancerian energy. And then last one, okay, we've got two coming out there. We have the King of Pentacles and the Nine of Cups as your outcome. Okay, I'm just going to get your clarifiers. Okay, let's clarify the Hierophant. Okay, we have Temperance, that's Sagittarius energy. Okay, clarify Judgment. We have the Sun in reverse, that's Leo energy. Okay, clarify the Ten of Wands. We have the Eight of Pentacles. Okay, clarify, okay, the Hanged Man. We have two coming out here. We have Strength, more Leo energy, and the King of Wands, and that's your energy, Aries, as well as Leo and Sagittarius. Okay, clarify the Four of Wands. Right, again, we have two coming out here. So we have the High Priestess, that's Pisces energy, and Cancerian. And then we have the Three of Swords as well. Okay, and then let's clarify the Chariot. Okay, we have the Nine of Wands. And lastly, what is the Nine of Cups and the King of Pentacles? Very good. We have the Six of Wands. Okay. So, I'm trying out a little new spread here, so just bear with me. Okay, so 4, let's see. Okay, so this is your overall energy, right? So you got the Hierophant and Temperance, okay? So basically, it kind of feels like this is maybe a period of maturity and stability. You could be maybe learning from some sort of experience, or maybe committing to some sort of long-term plans. But also, you could also be like finding a mentor at this time with the Hierophant, because the mentor with the Hierophant is a teacher, or you could be becoming one yourself as well. But also you're just creating structure instead of kind of chasing excitement, right? And with Temperance clarifying that it's kind of softens the Hierophant in a way, so it's kind of like don't rush, and maybe balance and moderation is going to be the thing that creates your success. Okay. So what is the next one? So this is what you don't see coming is Judgment and the Sun in reverse. So it could be that, maybe there's an opportunity that's returning to you right now. Maybe someone's reaching out to you with the Judgment card. It could also just be a decision that's being made, like a final decision type of thing, or like a decision that's been a long-term time coming. And also it's about maybe some sort of recognition that you've been waiting for. Now, with the Sun in reverse, it kind of, the Sun is still in reverse. It still is a very happy card, right? But it could just be maybe that it's a bit delayed, or maybe it could be that like there's some sort of clarity that you've been waiting on. So it's kind of like, there's been some sort of success arriving after maybe you've questioned yourself with the Judgment card, right? And also it could be that there's like self-doubt or something that's blocking your confidence or blocking your success. Happiness is coming, but maybe it's not exactly what you expected, but it is something that still will make you happy, Then with the 10 of Wands and the 8 of Pentacles, this is your career and your money, right? So I do see with the 10 of Wands here that maybe you've been kind of overworking yourself in a way, or you're just working very, very hard, With the 8 of Pentacles, it's kind of like, this workload isn't really wasted, even if you feel like, like, what am I doing here? But you also could just be like maybe mastering your craft, or, building some sort of expertise as well. But it can also be that you're just like learning new skills, putting in consistent effort, and kind of laying the foundations for the future success. But, the 10 of Wands is like, you feel like, you're not getting anywhere, like you're overwhelmed and exhausted. Then in your love and relationships, if I can just pick it up here, like I said, we have the Hangman and we have Strength and the King of Wands. So it's kind of, the Hangman is like, maybe in love at the moment there's a period of pause, or maybe even just reflection, but things could not be moving as quickly as you'd like, but that the pause definitely has a purpose here with the Hangman. Strength is, it's about making sure that you are patient enough, that you have compassion, and that you've got like some sort of emotional resilience, like you're strong enough to get through this, in this pause. And the King of Wands as well is, about confidence and passion and leadership and all of that stuff. So altogether, it could be that maybe like someone's taking time before acting, but, definitely has the potential to step forward maybe more confidently, or maybe you also could be, trying not to force any outcomes and just kind of getting back your confidence and your self-respect. Okay, so then we have the 4 of Wands and the High Priestess and the 3 of Swords. And this is in the area of your challenge or your block, right? So 4 of Wands is always about like stability, So it's kind of that, it's not that stability isn't available to you. It seems that maybe some sort of past emotional pain is maybe making it more difficult to either trust or like embrace it fully. And the High Priestess kind of says that you need to kind of listen to your gut or like your inner wisdom rather than any sort of fear. And the Three of Swords is like some sort of either lingering heartbreak or some sort of disappointment, or just like emotional wounds that you haven't completely healed within yourself. So you know, the obstacle here seems to be that like you're maybe protecting yourself emotionally, rather than anything that's actually happening at the moment. Okay, so then we have the advice from Spirit. So we have the Chariot and the Nine of Wands. So basically the Chariot is like, you know, keep going. It's fast forward, fast movement, you know, stay determined, you know, but maybe don't be too rigid with the Nine of Wands as well. And protect your energy, because the Nine of Wands, it does acknowledge that you are tired and maybe you feel like you're close to giving up, but you're actually much closer than you think you are. So don't let any sort of like past struggles or anything like that stop you from moving forward. So that's your advice. And then your outcome is actually very positive. So we have the King of Pentacles and the Nine of Cups, and then clarifying that is the Six of Wands. So basically the King of Pentacles, you know, it's about lasting financial security, it's about success, it's about stability. Nine of Pentacles also is about, you know, like wish fulfillment, like enjoying your rewards. You know, it could also be about independence and self-sufficiency. And the Six of Wands just adds like recognition, achievement, success, even public success. So at the moment there's an outcome this week that maybe you built something solid and you're being recognized for it. And it could also just kind of indicate that, you know, in success, in general, you know, that you'll be successful in your business, in your career, in your finances, or just reaching like a personal milestone or something. But it's really good for the outcome. Okay, so let's do a little mini love reading for you. Okay, so let's get some heart secret hidden secrets. So what are Aries feelings for their person? Okay, that one fell down. 1 second. Okay, so we got trapped. It says stuck, tied down, and captive. And bottom of the deck, we have healing. So it's releasing, purifying, and cleansing. So I suppose it kind of can differ, you know, between what's happening in your love life at the moment. But I suppose if you're single, it could be that maybe you're feeling stuck in old dating patterns, feeling maybe like all the good guys are taken, or all the good girls are taken. You know, you could also just be tied to someone in the past, like someone from your past that you're unable to let go of, or finding it difficult at the very least, and having like a fear of opening up again, maybe after previous disappointments, especially with that Three of Swords there in the High Priestess. You know, if you're in a long-term relationship, it could be that maybe you're feeling stuck in routines or responsibilities, you know, maybe you're feeling unheard, or maybe just feel like the relationship has become very predictable. You know, it could also just be like maybe you're just afraid of getting hurt, and I do see that a lot in this kind of theme of your relationships at the moment, with definitely Strength, the Hanged Man, the Four of Wands, the Three of Swords, the High Priestess, King of Wands, you know, like just gaining back your confidence, like I said before. But I do also see you maybe holding back emotionally at the moment, and you could just be, you know, wondering if you're ready for something. If you know, if you're not with this person at the moment, it could just be that you're healing at the moment. You know, like trying to, I don't know, move past things that have happened in the past, you know, and you're just trying to move on, and you're feeling kind of very tied to this person, you know. And then with the bottom of the deck being healing there, like I said, I do see that there is some sort of healing that's going on here. At the very least, that's what you want, you know. And this could be like that, you know, you're healing sort of old heartbreak, or like trying to get healthier habits, maybe even just preparing for someone healthier if you're single. You know, you could be also healing some sort of attachments, or learning to forgive, or like releasing some sort of anger or resentment, and just kind of getting back to like being good emotionally, you know. You know, if you're in a long-term connection, it could just be that, you know, that you guys are healing communication, old arguments, or even some sort of distance. But it could, you know, you could also just be healing while you're meeting someone new at the moment, and you know, you're trying to trust someone new, but you're moving slower because of some sort of previous wounds here. So I want to see, what are your person's feelings for you, Aries? Okay. So we have spying, and it says social network information and ways. And then we have resistance, and it says secret admirer, suppressing, and timid at the bottom of the deck. So basically, you know, it depends what situation you're in again, but, you know, either someone already knows who you are, you know, or they, like, you know, maybe they like follow you, or maybe you have mutual friends, or like something that someone's kind of like interested, but they haven't said it, or made it clear. It's kind of just observing, you know, at this time. It kind of reminds me of the Page of Swords. You know, if you guys are on together or whatever, it could be that this person's like checking your social media, you know, asking mutual friends about you, wondering what you're doing, you know, thinking about you often, and, you know, you're on their mind. And, you know, if it's a long-term relationship, it's kind of just that maybe your partner's noticing some sort of changes, or they're starting to pay attention, watching your moods, you know, just trying to understand what's going on. And yeah, if it's a new relationship, it's just that they're gathering information about you at the moment, you know, trying to find out more. But then with resistance at the bottom of the deck here, it's kind of like, you know, someone isn't confident enough, like quite shy, or it could be that maybe if it's someone from your past, maybe, you know, pride's getting in the way, or, you know, guilt or fear or something along those lines, like they're resisting contact in some way, but they're like still looking. But if you're in a long-term relationship, it's kind of like maybe they're just holding back their emotions right now, or avoiding difficult conversations, and just like keeping their concerns or their worries to themselves rather than actually communicating it. You know, and if it's a new relationship, it's kind of just that they're interested, but they're scared of moving too fast with you. So let's see. And I do see that, I see the theme being mostly on your side, Aries, that, you know, that there's some sort of old wounds that you're struggling to kind of let go of, and that's what's causing you to be in this feeling of being stuck at the moment. And you're working on your self-confidence, you know. Even if you've been in a relationship for a long time, you could still be working on your self-confidence. Maybe there's, you know, really deep wounds that have hurt you from the past that you're trying to move past. Okay, so let's get you some oracle cards. Okay, so we have the unrequited love. There's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. We also have love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. Okay, get one more. Okay, we have religious factors. So it says your love life is being influenced by your religious upbringing and spiritual path. And then bottom of the deck, we have codependency, and it says addictions are affecting your romantic life. Okay, so with unrequited love, you know, it could mean that, you know, that there's not enough attraction or chemistry, but it doesn't always need to mean that, you know. It's kind of like, it could be that, you know, you need to stop investing in people who don't invest back in you, or, you know, don't chase people that are unavailable. It could be that, you know, like, if this is a past person, then maybe it is that, like, you know, one person wanted more than the other, or maybe even that the timing wasn't right. But if you are in a committed relationship, you know, it could be that just that, you know, that are you guys both actually putting in equal effort? You know, has there been some sort of issues, like maybe with intimacy lately, or in like emotional stuff that's not, you know, coming up to par, or that there's just like an absence of, you know, effort here, you know. Obviously that's, you know, if you are in a relationship, because a lot of these cards don't really make sense for someone in a relationship, you know, so I'm trying to kind of interpret them as best as I can for, you know, all different types. Okay, so the next one then is love yourself first. So your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. So you know, this is about, you know, making sure that you do choose yourself first, and like, don't settle, you know, like, raise your standards type of thing. You know, don't wait for someone else to kind of validate your worth. It's kind of about healing yourself, and we did see that you are healing yourself with your feelings there. And your healing kind of begins when, you know, when you're not dependent on them making you happy. It's about like actually just making yourself happy. And just if you're in a long-term relationship, it could just be that, you know, you need to still keep your personal identity and continue putting love into yourself. Just because you're in a relationship doesn't mean that you know, you lose yourself or anything like that. And then we have religious factors, and it says basically your love life is being influenced by your religious upbringing and your spiritual path. So it could be that you guys do have, you know, religious differences, but it could also just mean that there's different values, or, you know, expectations, or even culture, you know, spirituality, goals, whatever it is, you know. So, you know, basically it's just about different beliefs, different backgrounds, you know, different values that might have contributed towards some sort of issues between the two of you. Or sometimes you guys just grow in different directions as well. But, you know, if you are in a long-term connection, then maybe it's about, you know, that there's compromise needed here for some sort of future plans, like basically on your children, on your marriage, on, I don't know, money, lifestyle, family traditions, whatever it is, you know. So just try to talk about those goals together and come to a compromise. Okay. So let's get some messages from your person. Now, this is usually for people in separation as well, but I'm just going to interpret it as best as I can for the different types. So what would Aries person say to them if they weren't holding anything back? Okay. So we have so many things remind me of you. We have I'm grateful for the spiritual lesson. We have we need to let each other go. And then bottom of the deck, we have I want to tell you how I feel. Okay, so basically it's very straightforward. Obviously, if this is someone from your past, it's very easy, you know. There's things that remind you of them. You know, if you are single, you know, at the moment, maybe it's just that someone from your past is thinking about you. But if you are in like a relationship or a long-term relationship, it could be that either someone's still healing from the past of something, or just reflecting in general on the memories that you guys have together. I'm grateful for the spiritual lesson. So again, if you're separated, it's, you know, they do appreciate what you've taught them or what the relationship taught them, even if it has ended. and you know, past relationships have always kind of, you know, shape you like into what you can bring to the table in a new relationship and that type of thing. But maybe in a long-term relationship or a new relationship, it's kind of that there's challenges within the relationship that, you know, are helping you guys grow, or that you guys are still, you know, grateful for these lessons that are coming in. And then with we need to let each other go, it's kind of, you know, maybe that you need to let go of this, or that they're saying that we need to let go of like each other, or maybe there's some sort of resentment that needs to be let go of, or even expectations, or you know, even just old versions of yourselves, and like it's just about releasing the past and making room for new love, or you know, just kind of accepting that it's the end of the relationship, you know, rather than holding on to what it was. But if you're in a connection and you know it's healthy and it's stable, obviously, you know, just maybe it could be just about letting go of old arguments again, disappointments, or I don't know, unrealistic expectations, so the relationship can move forward, and releasing any sort of baggage from either previous relationships or this one, that you're holding on to those things, you know. And then the bottom of the deck saying, I want to tell you how I feel. It definitely for singles could be that with this, especially with the spying and that type of thing. But, you know, if it's someone from your past, maybe this like, I don't know, unspoken things, or, you know, things left unsaid. And it could just be that they haven't kind of voiced it, but it doesn't, you know, it doesn't mean that they don't feel it. And in a long-term relationship or a new relationship, it's probably just about, I don't know, like honest communication, and maybe just saying that they love you more often, you know, or maybe even just opening up about things that they've been holding back, that they feel like they should be talking about, like issues in the relationship, in order to fix them. And it could just be that, you know, that the feelings are quite strong as well with that. So that's my new type of general messages reading. I hope you found a message that helped you, and I will see you guys again soon. Take care.